This video was made possible by Gamersgate.com. Download games anytime, anywhere. Skip it up and that up. So that next-gen graphical leap debacle that's been going all over the YouTube gaming community like a major flu virus. It's been everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. People are talking shit to each other. It's kind of a disaster at the moment. And there's some people I agree with, there's some I don't. Everyone has points that they're correct about, though. Okay, so no one is, like, totally wrong in this. So let's get to it. So let's start with Dr. Trey. He showed it, basically what started it is, he had, I think Game Informer, I'm not even sure, a gaming magazine where they showed, I believe it was Madden 25 or whatever, just a Madden game, and they showed it on a picture of it, a still from next-gen consoles, and they showed a still from current generation, and he said, look, you don't really see a difference, have that seat, that's his catchphrase, there's no difference, that next-gen graphical leap isn't really going to be there. He swears up and down that there's not going to be a huge leap, which he's not really wrong about, but he is wrong about one thing. Trey, you compared a game that's being developed for multiple generations. It's being developed for the PS3, the Xbox 360, the PS4, and Xbox One. There's no way that you could take a cross-generation game or cross-platform game, whatever you want to say, and say that you're gonna see truly what next-gen can do. If you remember from the previous generation, Trey, which everyone's touting as the generation that really wowed people because we went from standard definition to HD, people were making, I remember on G4, I always remember Morgan Webb saying this, that a lot of journalists and consumers were saying that it feels like the Xbox 360 is just the Xbox 1.5 because the graphics really don't look that much better, minus the fact that you could hook it up to an HD TV. So comparing a cross-platform game that developers are still developing for the current generation or previous generation, however you want to word it, generation of consoles isn't really a good thing to do. I mean, think about what they're doing with Call of Duty Ghosts, even though I'm going to use them for another example that's going to sound like I'm contradicting myself. They're developing Call of Duty Ghosts, Xbox 360, PS3, PC, Xbox One, PS4, and Wii U. Do you really think with all of those different platforms, because they still have to cater to the current generation because of how big the install base is, do you really think that they're going to be able to really eke out as much power as they possibly could, having to use that many resources? There's not a chance in hell. So to use still images and cross-platform games that are being developed for multiple generations to prove the graphical capabilities of a console at the moment, sorry, Trey, is retarded. You can't do it. But on the flip side of that, developers themselves, both from Infinity Ward and from BioWare for different reasons, have said you don't expect a ginormous leap in visuals come next gen. I tried to find the damn article. I almost made a video on it a while back, and I don't know why I chose not to. I guess I didn't think it was interesting enough, but hindsight being 2020, it was. Infinity Ward, a developer from Infinity Ward, was saying that it's not going to be a ginormous leap like from the PS2 to PS3 or original Xbox to Xbox 360. It's going to be subtle things like when you look down the sights of a weapon, it's going to be completely curved. You're not going to see like the jaggies that you would see in current generation. You're going to see slightly sharper textures, but he was honest about it. He's like, look, it's not going to be this groundbreaking shock in visuals. It's just the law of diminishing returns are taking place, and you're not going to see a jaw-dropping leap in graphics like everyone is used to. This is coming from a developer, not from somebody on YouTube, okay? BioWare has a different reason for it. Not that they're saying the consoles aren't capable, but what BioWare is saying is that no one's going to have the cash to truly make a huge next-gen game. I read an article of BioWare, if I remember, I'll put it down in the description, that if they really wanted to make it like the leap it was from the PS2 to PS3 to the Vita to PS3 to PS4, they'd have to sell like 20 or 30 million copies of a game. And it's just not feasible. They cannot get that much manpower to make that next-gen leap happen like that. So it's going to be more about like innovation, larger worlds, things like that. But again, you're not going to see that jaw-dropping, like when you first saw Gears of War, you know, that made you realize it's a next-gen system. And games like, or the Killzone 2, you're not going to see that again this generation. This is coming from developers, not from me or another dude on YouTube. So the bottom line is Trey, you're right and wrong. Yes, this next generation is not going to be a jaw-dropping leap. And you're right, it's probably going to be the smallest leap in graphics we've ever seen. But you're wrong for using an example like Madden or using any cross-generation game right now, because developers have to use resources for both the previous generation and next generation, so they just can't focus on really eking out the most power out of the next generation system. So that was a bad example, but you are right about the leap being the smallest ever. Do I think this generation, do I think games aren't going to get any better looking? No, I'm not saying that either. I'm sure 4 years from now, games are going to look gorgeous, but it's going to be more subtle details, just sharper textures, a little bit better lighting. You're not going to see those super jaggy shadows like you see on current generation consoles. But everyone, I mean, it's developers saying it too, guys, and I'm not going to keep on going over and over the same stuff. They're saying don't expect that huge leap. It's going to be in the details. It's going to be the smaller things that make games look next gen. So don't feel disappointed when a couple years from now games aren't like knocking your socks off, doing a complete 180 from what they looked like on the PS3 and Xbox 360. That's what people are saying. That's the bottom line. So anyway, folks, make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for supporting Review Tech USA. Have a good one.